Go. Who the hell are you, man? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
We are the Knights
of Neratude.
Hold on to your butt.
And now for something completely different.
Hello out there, and welcome to the Knights of Neratude podcast for all things nerd. I am your host, Sean, and I'm here joined on the Skype hotline with...
Watching other introverts with the binoculars, it's Sam.
The root of another corporate conspiracy, it's John.
I was just going to say, you're late. It's Chris.
All right, so we have a few things to talk about this week. We have a movie that dropped on HBO. HBO, right?
HBO Max,
yeah. So, Kimi,
is this our first 2022
movie, first one. We'll get
As
into
a whole,
that later.
As a whole, I've seen one
That's
already,
true,
but I
yeah.
don't want to. Yeah.
Chris refuses to acknowledge the fact that he's seen Hotel Transylvania 4.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Peter Rabbit 5.
No, it's Fast and Furious 22.
Anyways, so the Super Bowl happened a couple weeks ago. We never talked about some of the trailers that came out, so we're going to talk about that. And the Peacemaker finale we're going to discuss. So we got that.
We're delayed on all of this, but
we are delayed because once again, sicknesses have been going around with us. And it kind of sucks, but
I feel like what's going on is like kind of what's happening with me, which is our bodies are just like, germs. What are these?
Yeah.
We've been in isolation so long.
Last week, John and I both had the norovirus, so that was fun. And then I think as a whole we were doing fine, but I thought I had strep last Thursday. Turns out, just post-nasal drip. So, and my body has yet to shake
all our
it.
diseases.
Well, here's the thing. Like, my body is
my gonorrhea's been acting up.
The clap has been rearing its ugly head again.
I've lost yet another finger to syphilis.
Black toenails galore. You know, the usual.
My leprosy's really acting up these days.
Damn it! No, I meant leprosy.
I'm pretty sure I cut my arm off and I can't find it. It might be in the car.
Well, anyway, there was a major sporting event in which theatrical previews were shown.
Yeah, dunk contest.
Anyway, so the Super Bowl commercials or Super Bowl trailers, which I don't like. In some ways, I would think they would have been obsolete by now, and like they kind of are. But I still like that we still get the big trailers.
Yeah,
during the big game.
I like how they drop it at the same time. You know, once just online and in the online live TV at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that. I don't want to say I miss it because they did it last year and the year before that, but.
I miss the fact that you had to see trailers in the movie theaters. That's what I miss.
That's true. True. If you want people to truly go back to movie theaters, I mean, granted, it's the studios that release the trailers, but don't release the trailers unless it's via on screen.
But they make so much money that way.
Speaking about movies with trailers you can only see in movie theaters, or at least for a time. We did get a new Doctor Strange trailer. Doctor Strange 2, which is Multiverse of Madness?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
a lot of these are starting to get such similar names that it's throwing me off.
Yeah, I think they're in this kind of I don't want to call it a phase, but section of storytelling at Marvel where it's a lot of it has to do with multiverse. So that's where you're going to get Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Verse.
No Way Home and Spider-Verse is, it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
is it? Is it?
Is it?
Well, hopefully it's not, but currently it is. But anyway, Multiverse of Madness, you're starting to flirt with all these things, and I think Loki was involved in some way with that as well.
Oh yeah,
you're just hitting this kind of overall. It's like a comic book story arc.
Like Thanos.
I forget what they're called, but it's like an event. It's an event, yeah. It's an event where it crosses over a certain number of books, and that's what you're going to get with the movies. There's going to be a few movies with this.
For people who don't read comics, this is very normal for comics, for like Marvel or DC to do a massive crossover, where it's like, this thing is going on with Doctor Strange, but like the X-Men are involved, and the Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man, and so there's interconnective comics that deal with it. Yeah.
These are the tie-in comics. But aside from that, it's all about surrounding the multiverse. And
correct.
I think this is going to be like the anchor, right? This movie would be the anchor of the multiverse.
Yep. Pulls in Loki, pulls in WandaVision, pulls in Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, for movies, this is our first true foray, but let's just call it a dip into the multiverse, because the only thing so far that's really gone into that in like Marvel proper has been Loki.
Yeah,
and not everybody's seen Loki, so Spider-Man
is
rubbed up against it. There's definitely a lot of residual multiverse in that, but we don't go into any of the other universes or anything like that.
Wait, you mean none of the other characters have seen Loki?
No, I mean the fans.
Fans.
Oh, okay. You think there's that big of a difference between, I could see people going to Iron Man or Spider-Man who didn't watch Loki. You think people are going to Doctor Strange and not having seen yet Loki?
I don't know. Yes. I'm just kind of hedging my bets.
Oh yeah, Chris is one of them.
Aside from that, it's movies. It's not TV shows. So it's strange, but my
Doctor Strange.
My dad and sister watched all the movies. They got involved in the movies, and they don't care about the TV shows. So they're not gonna watch a TV show.
Have they tried?
So they went to go see Shang-Chi or what?
As of last year, they've seen all of them up to Endgame, and I don't know if they've seen anything after the fact.
So then it doesn't matter.
I cannot see your dad getting into these movies.
He did. Well, it was certain family medical issues where he was home all day with my sister.
Oh yeah, and it's an easy binge watch.
Time. So and you could sit down. It's literally a 5-day adventure to watch all those movies. So.
Yeah.
But they get into that, and they're not gonna watch the shows. No way.
Not even WandaVision.
No, they're moviegoers. They're moviegoers, and I think that's kind of the majority of the norms, quote unquote norms, that go see these movies.
The normies.
I'm just saying, I don't think they go see Doctor Strange.
Well, it's a Marvel movie, and frankly, if you run the list, it's like, oh, I've seen all these movies. Wait, what is Shang-Chi? That's part of it? Wait, what's the Eternals? That's part of it? Oh, Doctor Strange, that's part of it. I know that. Let's watch that one. So they're more likely to skip over those two and then watch Doctor Strange than they are to... we're getting off topic here. Doctor Strange trailer. I'm kind of excited about it now that I've seen...
This trailer definitely spiked some interest.
The cameo, the vocal cameo, at least.
Yes. Do you want to get into that?
As well. It's
all right.
A 1-minute trailer.
All right. Well, it's more than a minute, but anyways, the vocal cameo. It's pretty sure it's Patrick Stewart, guys.
Yeah, Captain Picard.
Yeah, it's gonna tie in with Star Trek. Who knew?
Yeah,
that's my only assution is that it's Captain Picard.
Going to tie in
nothing else.
It's going to tie into the David Lynch Dune movie.
No,
actually, no. It's going to tie into Green Room.
Oh God.
Here's the question, and this is it's clearly Patrick Stewart, and it's Professor X.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, I'm trying to think if I remember correctly all the comic book stuff, but there's so much with X-Men. Where is that supposed to be? Do we know, Sean?
The rumor mill is running that this is the introduction of the Illuminati.
Okay. Now...
Yes. Beyonce's going to be in it?
Okay, so... Okay, we need to... Can we go a little bit nerd out here?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can we nerd out a little bit here?
Go ahead.
We are the Knights of Nerdatude,
So, Illuminati. Okay, Iron Man's done. Like, Tony Stark...
Correct.
Robert Downey Jr. They're
Robert.
done.
Yeah.
They're
Here's
done.
the thing. Robert Downey Jr.'s done.
Yeah. So there's Professor X, and we have not seen. Oh Jesus! What's this? Krasinski play
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic yet? So maybe
Although that's not even confirmed. That's not even confirmed.
Look, at this point, I'm already sold on it. Just freaking do it.
So, do you want to go down the rumor mill? There's
hold
plenty
on,
of rumor mills
let's
going on
with
this.
We have Namor.
Yep.
He's
Namor.
a founding member of the Illuminati. I don't know if they're going to cast him because
Well, here's the thing. Before I think Sam Raimi took over this project, the original director, I forget his name, he tweeted out a picture of Namor fighting Doctor Strange, saying that he was excited to get started on Doctor Strange 2.
Really?
Yes.
Namor, that's the Submariner? Is that his name?
It's Aquaman.
Submariner.
Yeah.
He's a mutant, though. He's
like,
a mutant Atlantean.
I know this one fact just because it's insane. He predates Aquaman, which means Marvel passed over the name Aquaman for the Submariner.
That's fine. It's because DC is very lazy when it comes to their naming characters.
Yeah,
Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman.
We'll get into naming a little bit of like fun names when we get to Peacemaker, actually. But no, I mean like Illuminati, sure, love it, but like I one of my favorite characters of Marvel is part of the Illuminati, and they really screwed up that TV show when they made it.
So, Black Bolt.
What TV show?
The Inhumans.
So Black Bolt's probably like top 5 favorite characters for me. And they really like he was one of the best out of the disaster that happened, and even then it still wasn't that good.
Is that canon, or have we old yellered that yet?
Here's the thing. We can claim that it's old yeller if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist in this universe, which it's looking more plausible than not that they've basically nixed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as canon.
Yeah, first season's probably canon, but nothing else after that.
Maybe.
And even then, you got to cherry pick. You got to cherry pick.
So it is believed that if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist in the MCU, then neither does the Inhumans.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Either way, Black Bolt, I mean, I want to see him. I want to see justice done for him.
Yeah.
But that's the Illuminati right there. And you said that's the rumor mill?
No, rumor mill is Iron Man.
So I've kind of heard about this.
Yes.
So go into detail.
All right.
If it's the same thing I've heard.
I hope it's the same thing. So rumor mill, accompanied with some behind-the-scene photographs, show that Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be Iron Man in this movie. They have instead, I guess you would say recast, they cast somebody who was in the lead to play Tony Stark before Robert Downey Jr. took over the role. And he's this little-known actor. Not many people are familiar with his work, but he goes by the name of Tom Cruise.
Oh, right.
So Tom Cruise was originally thought to be cast as Iron Man, Tony Stark back before.
He was definitely in the running back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the belief is that because it's the multiverse, and you have 3 different actors playing Spider-Man, that there is a supposed legit photograph of him wearing not the armor, but the motion capture suit that Robert Downey Jr. wore towards the end. So it's him wearing that on the set of a movie. Now, look, it could be this. It could be a different movie. We don't know. That's why this is the rumor mill. I'm not saying this is
Can he just play this like his character in Tropic Thunder?
They're also filming Edge of Tomorrow. Like, they're also filming
Edge of Tomorrow
Edge
too.
Of Tomorrow.
Yes.
So
it could
like,
be.
It could be that.
It would look almost the same.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right. So.
I really just would be extremely happy if Tom Cruise never made it into the MCU.
I'd be fine with
really,
him being,
I would love to see it.
I would love to see this.
I would hate it just like in every possible way.
Like Xenu can be a Marvel hero and stuff.
Don't even bring that up.
Look, I only want to see Iron Man, or not even see him. I only want Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. in one more. I want him one more time, and that's all I want. It's
going to be great because it's going to entail him as Tony Stark, yet not Iron Man. Of just like him flying a lot of planes, but never like it's his rocket suit.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise, but yeah, I want to see this. I want him as Tony Stark.
I don't want to. It's going to take too much attention away from.
I mean, it's like a cool little Easter egg, and
right.
Honestly, that's what these movies are at this point.
Well, like, you look at Robert Downey Jr. would be Tony Stark Prime, and then this would be Tony Stark from a different dimension. Is he going to come back for the next Avengers movie to be Iron Man? No.
No, probably not.
No. This is his, one thing. Maybe he'll show up again.
It's like
with
Matt
cameos,
Damon is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Exactly.
He plays that
it's two different people.
You know what they're talking about now, and we're going into Marvel now, which is just something we really shouldn't spend a lot of time on. But there's like this huge thing that these are going to be the Young Avengers. This is what's coming, and I mean, sure, but. I don't know. I still like the bigger name characters, personally.
Feige...
But what if the next set of Avengers were all age 50 and up?
Right.
Well, I mean, Avengers are what at this point? You got Ant-Man, who's left. Doctor Strange is left, and Spider-Man, Captain Marvel.
Yep. You have
technically Black Panther.
Yep.
He hasn't officially been killed off yet.
Yeah, but if they've rewritten a bunch and they postpone, which is perfectly acceptable.
Oh yeah,
and there's talk of what's her face, his sister taking over the mantle, and she fits into that. Natasha Romanoff's sister, and then Hawkeye's apprentice, the show we just had. I can't even think of her name, Katie Bishop, and then you have She-Hulk, who's younger. You are getting Young Avengers. You are. It's gonna happen, but
no.
I don't know. I'm already missing. I'm already missing the old.
This Multiverse of Madness adds another piece to that puzzle, Chris, with the addition of America Chavez.
The mutants too.
Well, no. Well, I mean that's.
Oh, dude, there's mutants coming at the end of this. House of M is happening.
But America Chavez shows up. Who's Ms. Marvel, who will tie into the Marvels.
Right, who's going to be in her own movie.
Right. So, she's that young girl
TV show.
in this. Yeah,
that's a TV show?
It's a TV show.
Yeah, Miss Marvel is going to be a TV show, but the Marvels is
the movie.
Is a movie.
It's Captain America
too.
and the Marvels or whatever it is. But
and it's her and the one from WandaVision.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's going to be Brie Larson and her. Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be the 3 of them.
This is a cool recap. Can we move on? Any final Thor?
There's just
trailer looks cool.
Trailer.
I like how weird it's going.
Oh yeah, the thing with this and the promotional photo of Doctor Strange with all the shards of glass behind him and everything, and there's actual pictures in every shard of glass. I mean, there's people out there saying that they see Deadpool in those shards of glass, and Ryan Reynolds said, no, he is not in this, wink, wink, which is like, stop it, Ryan, just say you're not in it. Like, don't do that. So, I mean, this movie can be the stepping stone of adding everything to the MCU. All of Marvel, all of Fox, and which would be weird if like both Fantastic Four movies are now canon, or I should say all three.
Both sets.
No,
Yeah,
no, it would be weird if
be
like
weird.
suddenly Master and Commander was canon.
I mean, look,
WandaVision season 2.
I'm not gonna lie, it is a sick movie poster. Like,
It is.
I
It's
actually
really
enjoy
awesome,
it.
and like you can sit there and you can stare at it for an hour, and you'll find something new.
That's right. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's crazy how much is in there, and it's like, no, this movie can't do all that. It's like, but it might because it's the multiverse.
Can it?
Because like you can see what's it not Captain Britain, but Captain Carter's shield from What If is in there, which is
They
weird.
did say too. You know, they had all those reshoots. You know,
Right.
could it possibly have been in part of how much of a boost Spider-Man got of
Right.
them just being like, we're gonna throw like 1 billion fucking cameos.
Exactly. Yeah,
How much is the budget for this? All right, we're getting off.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
This
Well,
comes in
moving on.
May. Yeah, it comes out in May.
Let's talk about something coming out in October, but it feels like we've been talking about it for its own age. Ha! How about that one? Okay. The $1 billion Lord of the Rings series
September,
is finally
John,
released.
September.
Oh, September. Okay. Autumn. Finally released an actual trailer with footage, not just some crap about the title. And people seem to think it kind of looks like shit. I saw it and was like, yeah, cool. That's Lord of the Rings for sure. You got it.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of a take besides that. I was like, oh yeah, it's trailer.
I mean,
No, it's
the CGI didn't look great.
It's a CGI mess, guys.
but it's a TV show.
Yeah.
I understand that, but like, how does a movie from 20 years ago look better?
Because
Explain
it's a
that to
TV
me.
show.
It doesn't matter. Technology has changed over the past 20 years.
The trailer for this looked very much like when we first got movies in 4K. It's like the initial kind of shock of, like, this is brand new. We need to adjust. This is what this looks like.
I disagree.
And the CG didn't look awful. It's definitely not the worst we've ever seen.
No,
It's
but
definitely
like
not the worst.
You know what?
we're sitting in the uncanny valley, especially when
Right.
we see that picture of the elf like looking up, climbing the thing.
Yeah,
Like
that
ice.
that like,
That was
you know,
definitely in the uncanny valley.
You know what this whole trailer reminds me of? It's like this is a new game for PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it kind of looked like video
Like the
game
whole thing
graphics.
is just video game like it's good video game graphics, don't get me wrong, but it's video game graphics. Where are the actors?
See, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
I didn't get that at all.
It's a CGI mess.
Look, I guess this is. Well, you guys never finished the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
No,
Did you
I've
finish the
watched
Hobbit
it.
trilogy?
Oh my
This-
God,
This
yes.
looks very similar to that.
I've read the book, I've watched the movies, I watched the Rankin and Bass movie this week. Like, yeah. I've seen I know what the Hobbit's
It
all
looks
about.
very similar to that style of graphics.
Yeah. And that was like not praised at all. That was like horribly criticized.
Look, I can't fault a TV show for not having good graphics.
It's a $1 billion TV show.
Yeah.
I still think it's like a little early to totally like assume it's going to be totally awful, but it's not great considering this is like the one thing they could have shown us.
Yeah.
Look, it's not. I'm not asking for a lot in a trailer, especially for this. Regardless, I'm gonna see this to the end. Like this is, I'm watching this. 100%.
I hope so. I hope I'm in the same boat as you.
No graphics will ever turn me off from this because it's the story.
Right.
It's the story that's going to get me to stick around.
The
if it's a bad story, it's
the
not
problem with that though is that like it's not Tolkien. It's like a team of writers creating their own story.
You know what's funny? And if we've had this discussion off podcast, which we will have on podcast before.
Yep.
I'm entirely okay with that.
You are in the severe minority.
You say that. We need to have like a book review. We need to have a book review.
All right.
Of what?
The Hobbit. The Hobbit and how it's
a children's book that based on Tolkien's work. Because that's what it is. The Hobbit is a children's book compared to like all the rest of his works. It's the most dumbed down of all of his works.
Sure. And it is. Supposedly it's not his best. Like the Return of the King,
not at all.
Not Return of the King. That saga, like the three books, is like his best.
Yeah, Silmarillion is like really good and like very tough to read because it goes into like hardcore depth about the whole universe. Not universe, but the world.
I've also heard it's very like thick. If you know that kind of writing, where it's just like you read 2 sentences and you're just like, oh, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
Like, it's
so
definitely a marathon
what do you guys think about the setting? Because that was going to be the big thing. Obviously,
I like it.
Yeah, I
like the fact that it takes place before. It's not a remake, which is good.
Don't touch.
Oh, the remake would have been awful.
Don't touch my Jackson stuff. You know, he made that and it was damn near perfect. So you know what? Don't even try.
Right.
And like, there's so much more to this world. You know. Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Make it about like the creation of the rings and stuff like that.
Right. Like there's so much that Tolkien did in his writing to expand this world. But at the same time for this project, like they created this like new characters just for this show, which I'm like, why?
What character? Like what characters from the Second Age are from his books? Like I understand Hobbit's not from that age.
No,
and
we're talking
the trilogy. The Rings trilogy is not from that age. So what is that before? That's Silmarillion.
Silmarillion is before. Oh God, what else? He wrote a ton.
So
didn't he write one that's like a history or something like that?
Like, there's a bunch.
Yeah, that's the Silmarillion, right?
No, Silmarillion. I thought Silmarillion was like after and like way after.
No, I thought
it's weird.
I thought he wrote it after, but he wrote it after Hobbit and all them. But I think it's about the stuff before.
Yeah, I was
like you said, it's a hard book and it's hard to digest. It's
really
thick
there's like the Silmarillion. There's Baron Luthien, I guess. I don't know. Unfinished Tales.
Yeah, a lot of
Children of
Hurin. Like a lot of stuff was completed after,
Fall of
published
Gondolin.
after he died. So
yeah,
but
it's all based on like he wrote all this stuff.
Everything's based on that. But it's like kids did the publishing for it and tidied it up a little bit.
He had the basics like skeleton down, but he hadn't like fixed it up yet.
But I mean, there's literally like. I mean, to go with a famous person, like Stephen Colbert is like one of 7 people in the world who are like the knowledge they possess about this world is like insane. And like there's this whole, like it's weird. It's like this whole like ceremony and whatnot, and like they get together every so often, but it's like 7 people in the world are like the gods of the knowledge of Tolkien.
Can we get back to
what does that have to do with what we're talking?
Yeah, can we get back to the story? Can we get back to the story here?
The fact that this isn't like just a one-dimensional story, like this.
There's a lot.
The amount of information that is in this, like this is insane. This is like this makes George Lucas's world building look like child's play. Like
not Filoni's though.
But back to your point about like creating characters and stuff. I can't fault them for that, especially when the source material is so in depth and not necessarily complicated, but just a tough pill to swallow. as a reader. But it's not going to translate well to screen.
There's a difference between someone sort of listing out the history of this world and someone else trying to turn that into an interesting narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's The Hobbit wasn't an interesting book. Whoever wrote the movies and the screenplays made it entertaining.
You were once again in the minority.
You need to find...
Because you're just in a weird place.
Yeah.
Look, this is a great bit, by the way.
There needs to be... I swear to God, I'll die on this hill. This is my hill.
That's fine. That's fine.
But look. It's like what they did in Chernobyl. It's with the female scientist. They narrowed a bunch of scientists down to be reflected by her.
Yeah.
So they made it complicated, and they kind of simplified it to this one thing. This is what they're going to do with the TV show. They created characters to progress a tough story to read, and I'm not going to fault them for that whatsoever, because it's just, this is the nature of science fiction and fantasy writing. This is just the way it is. You need to be able to kind of translate it to a different media, especially if you're converting books, or at least source material from books, into a visual spectrum. And look, I'm in. Let's just, I kind of want to move on from this, but I'm 100% out on this.
Okay,
I'm in but weary.
Yeah, I'm not. This didn't
sold.
cause me to have any more confidence in this.
No,
but I'm still in.
I was excited when they announced they were doing this. Then I was excited when we got that teaser of the name. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then we got this, and I was like, oh. So, yeah, that's where I stand
plus, we didn't get a lot of, the actual plot.
Right.
Right.
Look,
we know what it's going to be.
But we know, the, 30,000 foot, this is what it is. But, who are these people? What are they, dealing with each other,
they could be
the actual
saving it
stuff
all
that
just
makes
for
a
the
good story,
They could just be saving it all for the show,
Oh, I mean, we're pretty far out, too.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get profiles and all that other fun stuff that they did for... What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Oh, there was a big profile, by the way.
No, what the hell was their show on Amazon where it was Carnival Row? How they had profile pages of each character. I watched that again recently. Oh god.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
I think I'm in, but I could very easily see myself watching 3 episodes and then just going on with my life.
Yep.
Makes sense. I could see that.
Yeah.
So,
all right, last trailer.
Nope.
Oh, which is a movie.
I was waiting for
about that. We need to edit that in post.
Awkward silence.
So yeah, this is Nope, which is Jordan Peele's follow-up to Us and Get Out. Looks like, oh god, I can't think of his name. The guy from Get Out and Black Panther. Oh, Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Returns as a lead here and it looks like this is gonna be an alien monster movie?
Maybe.
Yeah. Look,
but who the hell knows?
This trailer actually looks pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
Great. I love it.
He makes a good trailer.
That's true. He does. Whether it or not, it's so I'm hoping it's more towards the Get Up side than the Us.
Get Out.
I mean, Get Out, not Get Up.
I think that was another movie.
Step Up is a movie. Anyways. Channing Tatum. No, I'm hoping it's a step in the right direction. I feel like Us was kind of like a sophomore slump for him. And I definitely want to see him return to his first movie. He's I'm excited for this movie. I really am. It looks good.
It looks very good. Yeah. It's just kind of enticing. I don't even know what to really say.
Well, it shows you so much, but it tells you nothing, which is great for a trailer.
All right.
It's been a while since we've seen a really good trailer.
That's true.
This kind of hits it out of the par
Yeah.
It has, and I feel like, do they seem like they're just getting more and more formulaic too? Oh, there was a trailer that I forgot to bring up when we were watching before. How many of you guys saw the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers trailer?
I did.
I have not, no.
Okay. Sean?
Yes.
Just... I don't even understand, like... just the big picture of where as a society we're even going anymore. Like, I have no idea what this movie is or who it's for.
Yeah. So, if you remember back to last time we met, we were talking about the movies that were coming out this year. And Chris, on your list was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie. And I said, no, that's not a movie. That's a TV show because it was originally announced as a TV show because... like, when they rebooted DuckTales, they tied in all of their, like, 90s TV
Multiverse.
shows. Yeah, so, like, Tailspin was, like, tied in. They do create Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers in an episode inadvertently, like, by accidentally making chipmunks smart. But, like, Darkwing
This literally
Duck...
sounds like Marvel, though.
Yeah, no, like, honestly... if you were kind of a fan of DuckTales in the 90s, like, this show is phenomenal. And, like, a lot of cast from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is in it, which is great. But anyways, so it was originally announced as, like, a TV show, like a spin-off from that, and that's why I thought I wasn't a movie, it was a TV show. And then I saw the trailer for this movie, and I'm like, first of all, not a spin-off. Second of all, like, so was it John Mulaney and
Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg are the voices of Chip and Dale. No.
Okay, I'm not even gonna go that deep into the weeds, but like I just so it's first off it's a live action CGI
handwritten drawn animation. It's weird,
but it's just like I'm just so confused. I'm just really
I loved the show as a kid, and I watched this trailer. I was like, I didn't want this. I wanted, like, I would have been happy with the reboot of the show. Like, I was happy with the way that they dealt with, like, DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Tailspin recently.
So
like,
what's
that's what I wanted.
It's essentially different? Sam.
What's different?
It's essentially okay. Here's what it is. It's that every movie now has to get has to go through the like Space Jam that just came out lens.
Yes.
Like everything needs to be like Space Jam is the new air fryer of movies, where everything we cook is now in the Space Jam machine, and this weird meta. But like, why are we making the references to these things? No. Like, this has nothing to do with fucking anything. I don't know. I just, like...
But, like, the Casablanca
really shook
reference? Me. Where it's like...
Yeah. Exactly.
Would get that reference?
Yeah. Like, so, like, the two main... So, Chip and Dale are the mains. So, one of them goes through with a CGI surgery to become a CGI character.
I don't know if it's Chip or Dale, to be honest.
I think that's Dale is the Magnum PI one.
I'm not going to say it's super relevant.
But
one of them has it, one of them doesn't. And they refer to it as CGI surgery, which for a second I found funny. But I think I also
that's
watched
a weird quasi-social commentary that it really isn't.
Right.
Which, like, why would you even, like, dip your toe in that? And yet, at the same time, seemingly have no opinion on.
I didn't look at it through that lens. But I think the problem was I watched this when I was sick, and like I was just really like
a fever dream
that day. Yeah, fever dream is perfect the way to describe it. Yeah. So it really shook me.
Yeah, no, this trailer's weird. It's weird to go from Nope to that, but like...
And it's weird, too, that it's Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Like, they seem, at least, like, some reverence for what they... Like, the IP, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, we're just gonna, like, make a jerk-off, you know, Snaggletooth movie. You know, like we're actually, you know, have standards here, but. Yeah, I don't know, but let's get into some real stuff, some real meat on the bones. Do we want to do Peacemaker or Kimi first?
Let's do Peacemaker first.
Okay.
So on to Peacemaker. So we finally got the show ended. We finally got the conclusion of this show. Without going into too much with this episode, like rehashing this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, like they stuff happens and then it's over, and
God, it's just like a forgettable ending for me. I can't remember what exactly happened. I know what happened at the end, like the battle and everything, but
first of all, the battle at the end, I really liked it. Where it was the theme song playing while they were just like gunning down everybody.
Yes. I'm glad they didn't play that during the show until the end.
Yeah, that was nice. Great.
It was kind of nice.
And I also love the fact that they weren't gods. Like, they got shot a lot.
Yeah, I genuinely thought a lot would die. Like, a lot more would die.
Yeah.
I really did.
Like, I thought Vigilante was dead.
Oh, I even thought, what's her face was
Hargrave?
Dead. Hargrave, yeah.
Yeah.
Harcourt, yeah. I thought she was a goner too.
Yeah, like, honestly, she got shot like in the neck.
I know. I kept thinking, I'm like, oh no, she's gone. Yeah. I'm like, wait, can I live with this? I don't know.
But I also like the audio cue of as they're finally like losing, how like it gets distorted and slows down a bit. Where it's like, when it first starts, it's like, yeah, heroes, they're winning. And then as they start losing, it's like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Vigilante, I think, said it best. He's like, oh, well, that sucks. He, like, falls down because he got shot or something.
Was shot with a shotgun in the back.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
man.
Do they, like, I'm trying to, I don't know, I guess I don't really care. Like, whether or not, because they're in the end in the hospital and stuff, and I forget oh, that's right. She announces Argus, essentially, and all this other stuff. Yep. Okay. I mean, weird. I don't want to say unnecessary, but just the weird, unnecessary cameo at the end.
I loved it.
I mean, it was like stupid, but spot on.
So, like, before they charge in, because Sam and John have not finished or have seen. Sam, you're pretty far away. I doubt.
Yeah. I've never really gone back to the zoo.
But before they attack the base where the cow is located, which is the food for these butterflies, before they go in there, they call Amanda Waller's daughter. She calls Amanda Waller and is like, we need everyone. We need the Justice League. We need get whoever you can here. Like, this is the end of the world. And so they go and they fight, blah, blah, blah. Stuff happens. And as they're leaving, because they're victorious, the Justice League shows up. But it's Flash, it's Aquaman, it's Wonder Woman, and Superman. You see they're darkened out and like shadowy. So you're like, oh, look, it's them. And even at that point, I was like, they couldn't even get Jason Momoa to come in this show. And then Jason Momoa is there. And I was like, oh. And then Ezra Miller's there. I was like, oh, they actually got like two of them. Props. Like, good job, guys. And it's basically to make fun of Aquaman for fucking fish.
Yeah, right? Because they won't, like, there's no way they're going to pay. Gal Gadot's going to waste her time showing up.
Henry
Cavill. She got that Red Notice money.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a big payday for all three of them.
I know. But
look, that was kind of like stupid, unnecessary, and sure, it was fine, but
but it was something that DC really has never done. Whereas Marvel is, like, at least the past, we'll say 5 years, has been kind of known to do that. It's like, this is the first time DC's like, yes, it's a shared universe.
Yeah. No, you're right. Nice. You're right. It's like a little callback to fan. They probably realized, oh, well, people like this for some reason instead of our movies. No, I mean, as a whole, it's like the show that I didn't know that I wanted.
I agree.
It's just this. I mean, what makes it probably better than it should be is that stupid introduction song with the dance. I think that just kind of sets. If you were giving it a rating system, I think that song and dance just alone give it like an extra 2 points.
There are so many times I'm at work singing that intro song to myself. And I'm like, why? Why am I singing this song? I don't like hair metal, like, at all.
It's the sort of thing where, like, I would love every show to do it, but now no one else can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's kind of, like, incredible and sad at the same time.
Right? It's funny because you're absolutely right. And if you ever saw Marvel do something like this, you're like, all right, this is too much, you know? And, I mean, it kind of fits into the DC thing where they're grasping at straws now. And it looks
they're trying to keep this afloat. They're trying to keep the DC universe afloat. And every once in a while, I mean, it's been back-to-back for them with Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, but, like, they've been, like, this is something
they're kind of the same thing, too.
Right, it's a continuation, so.
Yeah, and then, we were talking about the Kite Man reference with Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah, so many Kite Man references.
Yeah, it's just they have this whole conversation about him, and it's just like, wait, so he rides kites? Yeah, man, yeah.
Oh, man, this show was great. So happy it's getting a second season. I mean, definitely a downer of an ending, but I'm excited to see where season 2 takes us.
I mean, it wasn't. I don't want to say it was a positive ending. But...
No, it was a downer. It was literally like spoilers. So,
it's okay.
You know how he captured that butterfly and took care of it?
Yeah.
And well, you know, Chris. I mean, for them. But that butterfly was like obviously the leader of the butterflies. Well, it got out, attached itself to the female cop. She ended up leading the charge on all of it, and then she explains the plan of the butterflies, which is that she's trying to save humanity because we are so bad that like their society went through the same thing that we are doing, destroying our planet. So they're there to help us, like guide us to make the right decisions to prevent that from happening. And Peacemaker torpedoes the cow and kills their main food source, basically dooming them to death.
Well, if that's the truth, I mean, they could have been lying.
I'm pretty sure it's the truth.
Well, you say that, but who knows? Either way, the thing is still alive, and it's like a second best friend behind Eagly. Which,
well, yeah. Well, the ending of it is very sad because I mean, the butterfly explains to Peacemaker that like he showed it love and affection, and you kind of see that at the end where it's still alive, but its food source is gone, and he literally sits down on the front porch and gives him the last of the like honey goo stuff that's on the planet. Like that's the last of it. So it's going to die, but it's staying with Peacemaker because Peacemaker showed it love. I mean, like he fed it, he took care of it, showed it love, got it high a few times. But I mean, it's just such a sad ending. And then obviously his dad shows up at the end, showing that like he still hasn't severed that tie.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a season 2 thing that I just don't want to see.
It'll be interesting to see this show come back in season 2 with, I would guess, a higher budget, because I get the sense that there wasn't that big of one for season 1. Like, it was definitely on the little shoestrings, because I think it was kind of like a spur-of-the-moment kind of series, too.
This final episode definitely showed that it had a budget, because of the cow. It's a giant CGI monster.
Yeah, but even then, that's not a big budget. That's
bigger than what they were doing before.
I guess
it's the biggest set piece, plus the giant fight, doing the sonic booms to blow up the barn.
Yeah, it was it's a TV show graphics, so it's not.
Yeah, but
it's not spectacular. I mean, when you watch the when you go into like his dad's closet and all those graphics and stuff, like this is straight out of the Legends of Tomorrow graphics right here. Yeah. This is CW style. And, whatever, but you didn't need that. That's not going to make or break the show. It's just the obnoxiousness of Peacemaker and Vigilante.
Yeah, which
throughout the whole
thing. The woman who plays Harcourt didn't realize was Gunn's girlfriend at the time. They recently became engaged, but didn't realize they were a couple.
Oh yeah. So
Jennifer Holland.
As long as she's still in it, they're gonna have to keep making these. That'd be incredible if that's the only reason why he was doing it. He's got all these other movies. But he just has to keep getting this girl on TV. Which, hey, good on him.
Yeah, honestly, she was a great part of the show. I really liked her.
Yeah, really came into her own. Yeah. Like first, very cold on it. Like, okay, this person's just here, but yeah.
Just did not remember her from the Suicide Squad at all.
No, just the big guy.
Or American Pie Presents The Book of Love, or House of Dead 2, or Zombie Strippers, or Brightburn.
Well, Brightburn was James Gunn. I think he produced that.
Or just wrote it.
But
I know he wrote it.
Maybe.
Where is it? It is produced and written by Brian and Mark Gunn.
All right, never mind.
That's according to Wikipedia.
He was attached somehow.
Yes, producer. Yeah, it's a Gunn family production.
Yeah.
Right. And Sean Gunn somehow was not in.
That we know of.
Right. Anyways,
Weasel season 3 cameo.
Yeah, I was very surprised that Weasel didn't show up in the show, but either way,
that was great. I still love that. I've rewatched that movie because it came back on HBO after whatever, hiatus. And I kind of just it's a nice little 15-minute couple scenes and out kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's good.
Anyway.
Let's go into our final topic here.
Another HBO thing.
Yeah.
They've been starting to put it together. I mean, not like HBO wasn't on good footing before, but streaming stuff, they're rolling out hits, man. They're the cultural conversation here. Although not so much with Kimi. Director Steven Soderbergh's most recent movie, starring Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz.
Yep.
Zoe Kravitz, among others. She's really the main character.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks' wife at one point.
Right, Rita Wilson.
And a bunch of other people who we'll get into. Anyway, essentially, it's really kind of like a throwback to paranoid 70s thrillers by way of the COVID and Amazon and Big Brother is listening. And there's let me just say, there's a billion things going on in this movie. And I kind of love it because it all sort of works for me, even though we never go super deep into any of them.
Mm-hmm.
But so the movie is essentially about a agoraphobic, definitely made worse by COVID and some other things going on in her life, programmer who works for essentially an Amazon, Google stand-in that has a smart speaker who, just like Alexa, sort of listens in on your life. I hope mine doesn't go off right now. And so her job is essentially to fix bugs, and she'll sort of listen to fragmented audio and sort of figure out, okay, what happened? Did certain parts of the country have weird sort of not idioms, but just different words for different things and all that. And it kind of she, thinks she hears a murder, and things kind of spiral from there. Sean, what'd you think of this one?
So this being the first movie of the year, and being a Soderbergh kind of short. It's an hour and a half. It's a short movie.
It's even under. It's like 87 minutes.
Yeah. So that can't be right. No, I'm looking at. I pulled it up on Google, and it says 2 hours 29 minutes. I'm like, no, right. It's not. No,
that's no way.
But for what it is, it's a thriller. It definitely, based on the opening sequence, where this is going. But at the same time, I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It was definitely an homage to, like you said, John, those thrillers from the 70s, but with an updated twist where there's technology and whatnot. But I mean,
even Rear Window.
Yeah, I was gonna say this very much
Window.
Feels like modern Rear Window.
Yeah, more than
even with her spending a lot of the time looking out the window at her neighbors.
Yeah, and that guy staring back, which is for the longest time thought was really creepy. But then it's oh no, he's exactly like her. Never mind.
It's only kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's normal creepy, people.
Yeah, it's normal creepy. It's the kind of creepy that was normalized because of the pandemic. Keeping an eye on your neighbors, watching their every movement, because there's nothing else to do.
Well, it is interesting being that close. That was close. Those buildings were close.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could have full-fledged conversations with your neighbors across the street.
I will say this. This is one of the few movies I've seen that, gets, anxiety attacks kind of right. As someone who's had anxiety attacks in my life, I really enjoyed the scenes where she leaves the place. And it's just so disorienting, and
the camera, filmed.
Yeah,
different.
I think he shoots it on an iPhone, which Soderbergh's been very big on doing. He's done entire movies on iPhones,
right?
But though I think some of it's not. But you can definitely. It's very jarring.
Yeah, the way that it's filmed, it's weird angles. It's moving. It's obviously
quick,
filmed on
and with anxiety attacks, it's it's not you're scared. It's that you're just so disoriented, and you just want to get this as over with as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And
I hated that.
I
couldn't stand that. In this movie.
That's kind of the point of an anxiety attack. Yeah. You're supposed to not like it.
Yeah, it's supposed to feel off. Like there's something wrong.
I guess,
feel it.
But when they did it throughout the whole, when they do it throughout a third of the movie.
Well, I mean,
I get it. I get it. I get why you did it, but just freaking turn the camera level for a second. Give me a little bit of a reprieve here from looking at her.
Yeah, but she doesn't get a reprieve. She's feeling that the entire time she's out.
Yeah.
Look, the whole... you knew what was wrong, or you knew what was happening with her the second she didn't go out the door, and she had all those pill bottles. I didn't need camera angles to show me.
Right, but it's...
I think it honestly helps in, you being able to stand into her shoes, and really be more than just oh, she's just crazy, just kind of washing it away like that. You understand, this is why she doesn't go out.
Right.
See, but I didn't need that, and you're right. It could be different for everybody, but I didn't need that to see that.
Yes. See,
I already knew.
Right. The thing is, there's a difference between knowing and feeling the way that she does, and that's how it was filmed, is to show you how she feels. And that's kind of the whole point of all that, the weird camera angles and the way it was filmed, is to not show you, but make you feel the way she is feeling.
Also, the sound design in this is really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I loved like how it was noisy, and then she puts her headphones on, and it's like silence.
And even when she's going out, like that really tense music they're playing, or even like the hacker guy who tracks her down, just the whole time they're playing classical music. I just love that.
Yeah.
His mom's knitting in the background.
Like all that scene was great.
So, what I think, now that we are more or less in the second, or I guess this is going to be the third year of the pandemic and stuff, I feel like, and truthfully, still very early into the whole, experience, but we haven't really gotten any good, like, COVID art yet.
Yeah.
Movies, TV shows at least. This to me was like the first one that was like trying to be legit, or actually like had something to say.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it even had that much, but like watching this, I had just total, I don't want to quite say PTSD, especially as it then applies to other circumstances in this movie, but of just going back to that world of being like stuck inside, even though this wasn't even supposed to be like right at the beginning, but just like I just got real, like that totally like ratcheted up my like anxiety the whole time of just like, oh God, I don't want to go back to that.
And also just like how weirdly natural it felt to see characters walking around with masks on.
And also in some ways, like, sort of adds to the whole vibe, too. I mean, there's, like, the one thing that I think is maybe, like, one extra thing, like, added to this that I understand and, like, makes sense that it would be going on, but the whole, like, civil unrest, homeless thing, I never really sort of understood how that interacted with everything else.
That felt like it was there just to sort of try and make it feel like modern times sort of deal. Whereas like they wanted to like kind of like tap into it, but it also kind of felt pointless.
You can't go to Seattle without seeing one of those protests. So
yeah, it felt like one of those movies, like one of those New York movies from the 70s where, there's just a garbage strike going on. And it's not really germane to the plot, but it's just sort of happening.
That's what's happening in West Coast recently.
Yeah.
It's protests all the time, so kind of a way of life over there.
And
we didn't get that in
time
Pig.
there was, but
I can't tell you. I didn't see that.
But yeah, there's just like just the gamut of stuff she goes through. I mean, you sort of have the stuff about like, modern day like relationships of like they just like come over, bang, and then he just leaves. And you go through the whole like PTSD of like her experience and this whole corporate, privacy thing, and it's just God. It's like almost overload, but like there's just a right kind of balance. Actually, it's the same writer as David Koepp, who did Jurassic Park and the first Mission Impossible movie. So he hasn't done like a lot of big name stuff lately, but definitely it was a good script. And like I said, it was a very like tight movie, which definitely helps when it's like a paranoid thriller. You feel like you keep getting pulled through. And then we got the Home Alone in the third act, just out of nowhere, which was funny because then the guy is in Home Alone. He's Buzz, right?
The
stalker guy. Yeah.
Oh, it bothers me a little bit that she was able to climb up through the floor to this next level.
But like the nice thing about that is it, like she kind of shows you at some point that she's
like working out and stuff, right?
Yeah, like she's helping like fix stuff and whatnot. Like for the fact that this movie is only an hour and a half, it's 89 minutes. The fact that it's 89 minutes, it shows you, it builds the world of this apartment so well. It
uses its time very efficiently.
Exactly.
Yes.
And this is also
nice.
A+ to that one.
This is not a big budget movie by any means either.
No.
Look, there are no frills at all in this. it was kind of nice to like watch such an efficient movie.
And he does a nice job too with like technology. Like, admittedly, cell phones have kind of ruined storytelling for some things because it's like, these plot devices that you could have employed 20 years ago of like, oh, but now you would just call them, or, oh, they would just have their cell phone on, or they'd have GPS, or you could send them a text or a picture or whatever. But Soderbergh, I kind of like it because he works within that world, like a lot of the FaceTimes and stuff like that. In fact, you have that really cool FaceTime payoff when the kidnappers, murderers, whatever, are in the apartment. So I like that too. He doesn't shy away from it, which makes him unique. He's on this weird sort of stretch where, so he's done some like really good movies, like Ocean's 11. People really love Contagion. He's made a shitload of movies. But the last couple of years, he's been very, like, experimental, like, trying to just, like, do different things. Like, he's done this whole, like, I'm going to shoot movies on an iPhone, and he did that for this one on Netflix, High Flying Bird, which was, like, an NBA agent kind of thing. And then he did that Unsane movie with Claire Foy in the, like, insane asylum, and that was all iPhone. And I'm sure that very much, like, we're talking about how when it shifts and it's all very herky-jerky and, like, sort of one-dimensional. And I can see that translating well to horror because it's just... You feel more boxed in. But he does this thing now where, like, he just comes out with movies every 9 months. And, this one was particularly good. The one before that, which I'm really blanking on because it's got... No Sudden Moves. Yeah. Another HBO Max movie with a really good cast, but was just sort of okay. But he's an interesting dude. He's like, definitely the corollary or, the opposite of, your Artur's filmmaker who like, makes 2 movies a decade. He's just like cranking them out, trying a different thing. This worked, this didn't, move on.
It was greenlit in February of last year. It was principal photography in April of last year. Like, you're right, 9 months.
I do have to say, Zoe Kravitz is, especially when she's like outside walking through the streets, her acting was really well. Like her like body work. Yeah. Once again, as someone who's had anxiety attacks, I'm not agoraphobic, but like the stiffness of her walking, you really see that.
I'm glad you mentioned like what stiffness and whatnot. So Zoe Kravitz is going to be Catwoman, Selena Kyle in The Batman, and there's a scene of her running behind a wall in this where I'm like, oh God, how is she going to be Catwoman? Because like she runs with her arms like out in front of her, but she's very, like crouched robotic. Over, very robotic running. It's so weird. It looks uncomfortable even while she's running away, and I'm like, she's supposed to be playing a gymnast in the Batman.
I mean, like I feel,
but I think that's on purpose, though. To go back
maybe
to
it is.
It felt like that was very much like this is a character who is nervous being outside, who's add on to that someone's trying to kill them.
Like, when you have, like, a cat or a dog or something like that who's, like, scared and they do, like, the fast walk out of a room kind of thing? Yeah. Like, they're not quite running, but they're like...
it's like your fight, or freeze instincts are all kicking on, and all of them are doing at the same time. So, like, your body wants to run, your body wants to fight, but your body also just wants to stop. And it's all going on at the same time, so, it's going to be herky-jerky and weird.
She's tiny too.
I hope. Oh yeah, she is. I hope that's right. That you guys are correct.
It definitely felt that way in the movie.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But it's a good point though, Sean. And I haven't. Other things I've seen her in, I've never been like super impressed. Mm-hmm. But I thought she was really good in this.
Yeah. Oh, I thought she did a great job.
It's just I really enjoyed that like physicality of her outside. Just was really well done.
The major complaint I have about this is the ending. By ending, I mean after she takes care of the guys and after she calls the cops and everything. And there's that like weird ending of her and the guy down at the egg truck, and it's like the freeze frame of them just being.
Oh
happy.
yeah.
I don't know.
We kind of lingered
like
on that a bit too long.
Yeah, I did not like that.
I think that was we sort like that. Just that seems like the kind of like, oh, the actual ending really didn't work.
No, they had like a planned
so
ending, but they had shot that just in case, and so they were just like, "Yeah, sure, we'll do this."
Or like they ran over or something like that. And it's like, well, we got the truck again.
So
yeah, but nice little.
So the guy who plays the like CEO of that company, Derek.
Yeah, he's just some
Delgadio. He's actually a magician. I know this.
Oh.
I know this because he has this thing on Hulu called In and of Itself. It's this weird, like, existential one-man Broadway show. It's directed by Frank Oz. Like, Stephen Colbert and his wife are producers on it. And it's just them shooting his one-man show. And he's, like talking about his life and everything, but also just doing really insane magic tricks. And it's like, if any of that sounds appealing, check it out. But like, I won't blame you for being like, that sounds super pretentious, because it kind of is. But like, it's honestly also just an interesting watch. So it's on Hulu. I saw him in this, and I was like, "Hey, that's that guy."
Oh, so you saw?
Yeah, I saw In and of Itself first.
Gotcha. Yeah, Soderbergh will have some interesting, some weird casting. Like, the guy who's a director was like his dentist.
And... David Wayne is the dentist in this.
Right. Like, yeah, he does this thing where like he'll cast a lot of comedians and like.
Yeah, that was such a weird cameo seeing David.
Yeah,
Wayne.
and Derek Delgadio. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but he's like a comedic, like magician. Although this show is less comedic, although it does have comedic moments.
Oh yeah, then Andy Daly, he was a doctor. The doctor, the guy who's he's in some other funny stuff. You saw him, you know who he is. Okay. He's in that show review. Anyway, well, let's unless you have any other thoughts, give it a score.
Yeah. Who wants to go
I'll
first?
Go first.
All right.
I'll give this one a pretty good 7.4.
All right. Sam?
I'm gonna give it an 8.2. Wow. I enjoyed this.
Sam's going high. I went with a 7.9. Almost a B. Chris?
7.
All right. So we're all kind of averaging in there somewhere.
Pretty good. I hope they're all at least this good.
Yeah.
For our first 2021 movie.
Yeah.
Or 2022.
It's a good start.
No.
It's a good start.
It's not a great start.
Well, not for Chris, but.
I don't want to put my.
What was your big complaint about this one? What didn't do it for you?
Mostly just the film style, like that middle third of the movie. I just didn't like it.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm like, whatever. This is fine.
Well, we can next week, Chris. We can. I'll make it up to you. We can talk about For All Mankind as you've entered into the space race.
Yeah, I got a few things on the plate that I have to get through, so we'll see which one hits that.
All right.
Hits that.
Yeah, we don't have to get totally caught up with 2 seasons, but
yeah.
Anyway, it's an interesting one to pick up as the world is on the brink.
Yeah. Next week it's For All Mankind, Legends of Vox Machina.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And maybe we can get some Reacher going.
Have fun.
Or the Sum of All Fears. Either way.
I recommend the Icon documentary on HBO. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, Carl Icahn.
Yeah, John, you probably like it more than anybody else.
Gotcha. I'll check it out. I've been meaning to, but...
And while you guys are doing that, I will be playing Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah. World of Warcraft patch came out yesterday. Or Tuesday.
Oh, also, another good one worth checking out. Hoping to drag these guys into it is Severance on HBO or Apple TV. It's a Sam show. It feels very much like a Sam show.
Is that the one where they all work at that one place? It was like,
yes.
You signed. Okay.
Yeah, where essentially they go to the work of this place that they get their memories wiped, so they never remember any part about it separates balance. The two completely.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting stuff.
All right.
Anyway, on that note, you can follow us on Facebook, catch some up and coming content on YouTube, or anytime listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Mm-hmm. And leave us a review if you don't mind. And until next week.
Bye.
Good night.
Adios.